Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Scott Wegener, executive producer for David Garrison Productions and Nobleman Square. For those who aren't familiar, the Garrison's an all-volunteer film production company based here in Sharonville, Ohio. Before that, we were on the West Coast in both California and Oregon. Our first television movie was Hide from the Night in 1984. We came to Cincinnati in 1986, and our first Ohio movie, The Mutants. Since then, we've averaged a feature film every 5 years. In the height of production, we might have over 100 people in the cast and crew. In between production, it's usually just me and a keyboard. I'm here to give you an update on where we've been and where we're going. We've been through a turbulent last 5 years. It's held us back from pursuing any large-scale movie production since Riddle of the Spider's Web in 2020. The pandemic kept us from safely pulling a team together. At the same time, just before Riddle premiered, I was diagnosed with leukemia. And while those diseases kept me away from feature films, we did manage to stay productive. We produced a Christmas special, a zero-budget filmmaker's Christmas, where artists from around the world contributed segments and greetings to make for a very festive holiday season. I launched a couple of podcasts. One, The Garrison at Nobleman Square, where filmmakers talk about their craft. I interviewed creature actor Doug Jones. And in light of the Rust movie shooting tragedy, I had a roundtable of industry professionals discuss gun safety on set. There were also several discussions with actors and directors from around the world. We plan new episodes that will feature producers' takes on topical issues, such as using artificial intelligence and highlighting the roles of various jobs on film sets. My other podcast, the Engage Your Film Passion Tour, focuses on my own learning experiences as an auteur filmmaker set on locations around the country where those lessons were learned. We launched the Nobleman Channel streaming platform, where nearly all of our productions have been available for your viewing pleasure. That includes the release of our long-lost classic, Emmy Award-winning action fantasy, The Golem, that vanished after the broadcast premiere 25 years ago. After my basement flooded a few years back, I discovered the master tapes for The Golem, starring local film and theater actors Richard Arthur, Ernie Rowland, and George Fee. We had the tapes cleaned, digitized, and remastered with upgraded visual effects. If you haven't checked it out, grab some popcorn, go to the website, and make a date of it. All of those things were done from the relative safety of isolation. Now it appears COVID has been tamed and my leukemia has been defeated. So that brings us to where we are now in anticipation of getting back to large-scale movie production. The Garrison acquired all new equipment, allowing us to go 4K for the first time. I've been resistant to upgrading from regular high definition because the value wasn't really there for the small screen. But we will be releasing upcoming projects in theaters where the extra image quality will make a big difference. Now, we've made a reputation of doing high-concept adventure cinema, with all volunteer cast and crew and proceeds going to charity. We've made our films purely for the love of entertainment and the advancement of the craft. That's how we bring the magic to our audience. Now, there has been some suspense about what the next film is going to be. I am pleased to announce we'll be continuing the adventures of Harrison and Malcolm from the Spider's Web franchise. The next 3 chapters are in the pipeline, taking our teenage heroes into greater dangers and personal revelations. First up is The Harrison Proposition, which we plan to shoot in 2026. Pre-production involves location scouting in Washington, D.C. and New York, stand-in locations here at home. Over the next 12 months, we'll be seeking out soundstage space. Storyboards and previs will take until next spring, so we'll model and set buildings. It's nothing we haven't done before, but as always, we are pushing boundaries. Now, the actors who fully inhabited the characters in the last 2 chapters have aged out of their roles and have become grown-ups. It happens. They've moved on with their lives to become professional actors or to equally rewarding careers in other fields. I owe them a huge debt of gratitude for the hard work they've put in, turning words on a page into living, breathing human beings. Thank you, Cody Opal, Andre Tomlinson, Mark Anthony Howard, Samantha Russell, and Wendell Young. A special shout out to the actor who not only played Dr. Scott's secretary, Fran, but she also played Miss Cramden in the original Spider's Web back in 1995, the ever-amazing Sharon Rose Tyre. You are awesome, always. Now, as we prepare, we will need to reboot with an all-new cast of characters and crew. We'll start that hunt immediately. Interested talent can send headshots and resumes to davidgpro@gmail.com. Put actor or crew submission in the subject line. Remember, these roles are all volunteer and all proceeds go to charity. We will also be forming an advisory board to help with out-of-the-box thinking to continue our decades-long tradition of producing multi-million-dollar movies with no budget. If that sounds like smoke and mirrors, let me give you some examples. In The Golem, a major airline flew us to the Czech Republic to shoot on location in Prague, including inside the city's 600-year-old astronomical clock. For The Riddle of the Spider's Web, we brought our actors to a master pilot boat on the Mississippi River, matching it with a cargo ship we shot in northern Ohio. And for Beowulf, Prince of the Geats, our friends in Norway loaned us a fully rigged Viking ship to sail on the very fjords where they shot the Vikings with Kirk Douglas in 1954. There are dozens of other examples making our films what we believe are a step above the competition. Speaking of Beowulf, it's our only feature film currently not on the streaming platform. We plan on adding that to the lineup this year. Also, The Golem will be hitting select theaters later this summer. Well, I think that pretty much wraps up everything. I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, you can email me at davidgpro@gmail.com. And if you haven't yet, please check out the Nobleman channel at noblemansquare.com. I will continue to keep people updated. In the meantime, buckle up. It's going to be a fun and wild ride.